Member, 5 minutes for his questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. According to its statutory authority, the Chemical Safety Board can incorporate recommendation measures into investigative reports. But I have been told investigators sometimes may write investigative reports that incorporate their own background or biases when developing recommendations. If they are doing so, that might challenge the independent investigatory jurisdiction of the Chemical Safety Board to determine the root cause of an accident. Does the board have standardized requirements for its recommendations?
The board has standardized requirements which are in the process of being codified, and that is exactly what we're trying to address in our internal process improvement.
And when do you anticipate that that will be codified? I know you're the only member of the board, so it makes it more difficult, but when do you anticipate that would be completed?
Within months.
So if we check back in 6 months, it either ought to be done or pretty darn close. Is that what you're saying?
It should be prior to that. We actually have drafts written, and it would be nice to have other board members to weigh in on that as well.
Don't disagree with that.
Okay.
And do appreciate that you have been carrying this load yourself. So I don't want to underscore that with any of my.
We've already drafted it.
Undermine that or neglect to say that because I'm going to ask, some tough questions. I understand you've got some handicaps. Do you think it would be a good idea to establish legal criteria? So you're going to codify these standardized requirements, but do you think it would be a good idea to establish legal criteria so that we can have a greater standardization among recommendations and reduce the chance of agenda setting through recommendations?
So everything that we process currently under my tenure undergoes legal review. Every recommendation, every report, every safety bulletin, every safety alert. That was not the case prior.
Okay. So I guess that's in essence a yes.
Yes.
All right. In your message in the Chairman's FY 2020 Chemical Safety Board Impact Report, you state the U.S. Chemical Safety Board has successfully carried out its core mission work in fiscal year 2020, despite an unprecedented impact from COVID-19. The board's mission is to drive chemical safety change through independent investigations to protect people and the environment. But that language is not actually found in the statute. Is the Chemical Safety Board's mission different from its statutory requirements?
Per my understanding, they're exactly the same.
Okay. We might disagree on that, but we can talk about that later. In determining the success of carrying out its mission for a fiscal year, does the board factor in how many investigations were closed during that year?
Can you please repeat that question one more time?
In determining the success of carrying out its mission for a fiscal year, does the board factor in how many investigations were closed during that year?
In the past, performance has not been a measure that's been held accountable, that the board has been accountable to, and I've instituted that. We have included that information in budget requests, but that is something that I am working strongly to institute.
So that should be a part of the determination as to whether or not you've had a successful year.
Absolutely.
Okay. The impact report also states that a top priority for the board is to continue delivering high-quality safety products to the community. Can you explain what high quality means in this case?
This means they're all cause. They investigate to the degree that the safety impact is warranted, and we apply our resources accordingly, and that the outcome is sound.
All right. What were prior Chemical Safety Board products lacking that caused you to establish different standards to improve the quality of the work product?
As mentioned, there have been widely varying product types and product integrity levels. And it's having come from the NTSB and having been at the FAA receiving those recommendations and reports, it's really important that you have consistency in your logic flow from the facts to the findings to the conclusions to the recommendations. And that is something that we have been working on vehemently this past 6 months to a year.
All right. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Thank you.